Ben McKee, Patrick Brown, Go Vols 247 here at Neyland Stadium after Tennessee beats Alabama 52-49. And Patrick, I'm going to let you start because I'm still at a loss for words.
Yeah, Ben, every year our game-by-game predictions, I say, for this game, it'll happen one day, but it probably won't be this day. That's been my go-to. And today was that day. Tonight was that night. Just a classic game. It's what this rivalry should be. And it was tonight, and obviously a very sweet night for a lot of people in and around Knoxville and in this football program, too.
Absolutely. And the story on the field before absolute pandemonium took place after the game, to me, it was Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt and their connection. 5 touchdowns for Jalen Hyatt on the night. Obviously, Hendon throwing those touchdowns. I don't know how many yardage.
It was over 200.
A lot. Really good numbers. And I said it in the postgame, Hendon is now the Heisman frontrunner by probably a large margin. But I think you've got to put Jalen Hyatt with 10 touchdowns now in the season, 600-ish yards, I think. I mean, he put his name on the list.
Well, it starts and ends with Hooker, and that's what Josh Heupel said after the game. He's the key to the ignition, and he gives Tennessee a chance every game. We'll continue to do so. And I mean, we can start talking about championships now, right? Because you beat Alabama, you're in that conversation. And Hendon Hooker has led Tennessee there. He was outstanding tonight. Came back a couple times there in the second half where it looked like Alabama was about to take control. Every time it looked like the Tide did. Tennessee made a play on offense, was able to get it done in the end. The 2 plays in the last, 15 seconds? Mm-hmm. The pass to Ramel Keaton, the play by Brew McCoy where he went up between a couple of guys, got punished, made the play to set up the field goal. Those were clutch moments that, as you mentioned in terms of the Heisman, those define a Heisman campaign, and that certainly is what Hendon Hooker is blessing everyone with. Who's getting to watch him play this season.
Yeah, Hendon gets it done on offense. Jalen Hyatt gets it done. Brew McCoy had some nice catches, and obviously there were so many other plays that contributed to the win as well. Defense, we'll avoid that topic. It just kind of is what it is. I thought Bryce Young was just awesome.
Jahmyr Gibbs too.
Jahmyr Gibbs, awesome.
Most teams are going to struggle against those two guys at full
Yes.
strength, and Tennessee was definitely not at full strength. Particularly in the secondary.
No, not at all. But with the defense kind of being what it was, and look, Alabama's defense did not look good either. Will Anderson, who I do think is probably the best college football player in the country.
Non-factor.
3 tackles.
Non-factor.
No sacks, half a tackle for a loss. So neither defense really had a great day, obviously, 52-49. Came down to 2 special teams plays. There were several earlier in the game, but the 2 at the end, Alabama missed their kick, Tennessee made theirs.
Yeah, and the defense, I think, did a good job getting really aggressive. There on that last drive, they were sending 6 guys, which was gutsy because they had a walk-on playing cornerback in William Wright. Tennessee had to go down the line of guys with Kamal Hadden being out. Obviously, Warren Burrell's out for the season. Some other guys got banged up and weren't able to play. So it was sort of an all-hands-on-deck kind of game, and Tennessee was able to get that one last stop at the end, and came down to 2 kicks, and Tennessee was able to make theirs. Barely,
but it went in, and that's all that matters. We'll have a podcast up here shortly diving more into the X's and O's and what happened over the course of the game. But last thing before we get out of here, the scene afterwards.
Incredible.
All-time moment. I said it earlier in the week on the podcast. You rush the field, but you rush the field because of what the last 15 years have been in total. You're not rushing because you beat number 3 Alabama, this particular Alabama team. Tennessee exercised a lot of demons tonight, and the fans celebrated accordingly on the field.
Yeah, and the way it went, too, where Tennessee looked down and out a couple times. The momentum wasn't in their favor. They had to dig deep with some guys. Jeremiah Crawford had to come off the bench, play left tackle in the second half, and no Cedric Tillman. So Tennessee had to dig deep for this one. And when you win a game in that fashion against this team and this rivalry that you've lost 15 in a row, hell yeah, storm the field. Smoke cigars, carry the goalpost down Cumberland, do all that stuff. And it was quite the scene and something this program has needed for a long, long time.
Absolutely. It is now officially a magical season. Hendon Hooker, the front runner for the Heisman. The Vols, the front runners in the East, maybe.
We'll
see about Georgia. Atlanta. We'll see about Georgia. We will. But I think they're in the conversation now to make the college football playoffs. It's going to be a really fun month. A bye week this week with E.T. Martin coming to town, and then you've got Kentucky before Georgia. So we've got plenty of coverage of everything that took place here tonight. Both goalposts are missing. We got plenty of coverage of it all at Go Vols 247. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee.